want to thank Carol, you and George for inviting me to be part of this event. And unfortunately, I can't be there in person because we have many other commitments. But I really wanted to be part of this to convey how happy I am personally and how privileged we are as an institution, the World Bank Group, to be associated with the innovation that impact has been under the auspices of central inspection. Before I go into the points, I want to make heartfelt appreciation for all the students and volunteers who've been behind the scene, working non-stop, round the clock, to make immense contributions to this beautiful nation. I don't know them, all of them. I have seen their photos, but I know they are working very hard. And I salute their dedication and commitment to contribute their hard work, their knowledge, their passion to what impact and central inspection is doing. For me, the innovation through impact has not been about simply being a technological platform, doing registration for the vaccination program or now for the social safety net. Since I've been in this country for a couple of years, I have to say that impact has been essentially, as Najat was mentioning, it is the hope and optimism that you bring to this country. It's a huge confidence building measure. What is important here is that, and as I said earlier today at the launch of the National Port Strategy and the Port Governance event at the Sarai this morning, is that what differentiates a failing nation with a nation which is prospering is good governance, good institutions, based on the principles of transparency, accountability, effectiveness, efficiency, better resource allocation and management. And the impact experience shows that it is possible to have good institutions, even when there are very clear signs of state failure in many sectors of the economy in this country. And we need to draw lessons from why impact has been so effective, so successful. On the World Bank side, we don't take any credit for what you have done. I think the credit goes to people behind this innovation, the volunteers who have really worked very, very hard. In a matter of less than 2 years, 3 years, maybe less than 2 years actually, you've demonstrated that it is possible to bring change, it is possible to reform, it is possible to provide credible system of data collection, data management, better governance, more transparency, more trust with the people. So I think those of our colleagues from the Lebanese government who are watching this, either in the room or through live stream, I think there are a lot of lessons to be learned from this and how it can be replicated in every sector, every ministry, every public institution. And I think it is important that we take these lessons very seriously before it is too late. World Bank's experience working with impact, since Carol asked me to speak on this, my own engagement with this process started when the World Bank decided to provide financing for COVID-19 response and then later for acquisition and rollout of COVID-19 vaccine. And that was the time when vaccines were not easily available. It was in short supply. Things were pretty bad in the country. And Impact was setting up the platform for vaccine registration. As we were going to our board of directors for the approval of this financing for vaccine, many people, including in my board of directors, who represent our shareholders, our countries, many of whom may be sitting in the room, I was being asked this question: are you really serious about providing financing for vaccine in Lebanon, where we know for sure that the vaccines will not go to the deserving people? Vaccines will most probably end up in the arms of people who've been basically responsible for where Lebanon is today. So how will the bank ensure a fair, transparent, and equitable vaccination campaign? And we saw in Impact an opportunity to not only come forward, take some risk, but make sure that we are able to provide some lifeline to the Lebanese people who needed vaccine immediately, particularly the high-risk group as listed by WHO. I won't go into the details. You all have witnessed what happened then, including, I would say, personal attack on me, which I have never taken to my heart because, we are public servants. We work for multilateral institution, and we want to maintain high level of integrity in what we do, but we certainly stand for certain values and make sure that we come always on the right side of poor and most vulnerable people who need to be part of our development planning and engagement. So I want to also thank everyone who is watching this to send their sympathies and support to me when this was happening. But what is more important is that you made sure that the WHO criteria for prioritization of limited vaccines that we have was followed, and you provided all the information in real time to people how the vaccination program was rolled out. And I want to take a moment to also thank the health workers, Red Cross, volunteers, and everyone who's been part of the success that Lebanon had in the vaccination campaign, in the Ministry of Public Health, and also the private hospitals, everyone who's been part of it. I think it has been a success in where we are today in this country, and Impact has played a very critical role in helping Lebanon to undertake a credible vaccination campaign despite the initial challenges. The second thing which I think many of you mentioned today is another innovation that Impact has helped create is the social safety net. How do you help the poor? How do you identify who are the poorest and most vulnerable who need assistance? This country, in my view, has deliberately avoided establishing a unified social register. I think every single vested group in this country has deliberately chosen to have their own list of beneficiaries without the vulnerability as a criteria or poverty as a criteria, but providing assistance to people because of very other reasons that you all know in this room. And the resistance to that change, to establishing a unified register, has been enormous. Probably it continues to be there. But in the last 2 months, since the launch of the National Social Register for the DIAM program under the auspices of Central Inspection, with more than 560,000 households registered on this without a glitch at all. This is remarkable. It's unheard of. I've been in public service for 35 years. I haven't seen that. So it again shows that change is possible in this country. We have to believe in it. We have to push very hard. We have to take a very strong position on this. And let me make it very clear from the side of the World Bank. Any attempt by anyone trying to manipulate the National Social Register going forward in terms of identification, targeting of beneficiaries, cash transfers to these people, we will view it very seriously as far as the bank policies are concerned. We will comply with our own policies that the assistance should go to those people who need the most. And that is the condition on which the World Bank Board of Directors provided the financing. And we find Impact has done an amazing job to provide that confidence to the Lebanese people that this National Social Register which is pretty much the case in many other countries, can be the basis for social assistance, all social assistance programs in the country. I think the Ministry of Finance also needs to take a look at its budget. The Lebanese budget often includes privileges and assistance to groups without any criteria for targeting and selection. There is a need for very serious review of the public finances and how these are targeted based on considerations that we don't know. Perhaps time to really reform that, use unified register for targeting social assistance going forward. So in closing from my side, personally for me and for my institution, World Bank, it's been a privilege to be working with volunteers, officials, colleagues who've been involved in the impact innovation. You'll have our support all along because you can be the means to ensure a program that people trust and there is adequate safeguard, the adequate oversight in how the public finances are used in this country. I would really encourage every single public institution in the country to draw a lesson or two from the central inspection and the impact experience. And you will have, of course, the World Bank's strongest support in taking these innovations to scale and give the hope to Lebanese people and this country that Najat was referring to in her remarks. So with that, thank you very much, all of you again, for listening to me. And I wanted to be as frank as I can be given the situation the country is facing. We all love this country, we love the people of this country, and we must say things which actually are important and relevant and need immediate action by all stakeholders. So thank you very much, and back to you.